decisions that are influenced by their emotions, beliefs, and prejudice. So let me just explain it in like basic terms. So a cognitive bias is where you make decisions based on your emotions and what you feel about something, and then other people's opinions also. Then the importance of cognitive bias, it improves your decision making, increases your objectivity, helps with fairness, increases credibility, and then it also improves problem solving. So we have different types of cognitive bias. I won't be going deep into all of them because it's an hour for this event. So I'll just take the ones that I can properly explain, and then I'll share the slides with you guys later, and then an article I wrote properly explaining some of these things. So we have confirmation bias, sunk cost fallacy, halo effect, implicit bias, recency bias, framing effect, social desirability bias, and then bandwagon effect. So confirmation bias, you know, I'll explain these terms not in like in easy ways. So I'll be using like scenarios and examples just so that I can drive my points home properly, so that I do not bore you guys. And please, if I am rushing or you don't understand anything I'm saying, just drop a message and I'll come back, because I tend to like go really fast. So confirmation bias, this is where people seek out and remember information that supports their own belief or their own bias. So in a case whereby I say that Messi is a very bad footballer. I know if most of us here will know who Messi is. And I say, oh, Messi is a bad footballer, and I tweet it. And then people are telling me, oh, no, Messi is not a bad footballer. How can you say that? Then I look for articles where some media or like other teammates are, insulting his play and his skill. And I use that to back up my tweet. And then I say, okay, see where this person is saying Messi is bad. That's me trying to confirm my bias. And I'm sure that most of us must have had one or two experience where we did that. So we say something and then we look for something that supports our emotion without listening to any negative opinion or any other opinion from other people. Also in design, when we want to charge clients, right, most times, I'm also guilty of it, you try and bring your prices so low, and then you say, if I make my price 5k naira, this client will not run away. He will definitely want to pick me. That is like you trying to confirm how you feel, basically. So how to overcome confirmation bias. Do not assume, right? Just be very, very, how do I explain this now? Don't assume, just go in your research with a very, very clear mind that, okay, from this research, I'm trying to get data from people. Do not try to get data that confirms what you already feel about that research that you're trying to carry out. So just be very, very objective and just let things flow easily. Yeah, so we have social desirability bias. In this type of bias, it's basically when you when you get people to respond to questions the way that you want them to. How do I explain this now in basic terms? It's like when you're trying to cajole your user, you're doing your research, right? And then the people you're trying to ask questions, your research group, you're trying to ask them questions in a way that will make them answer it how you like it. For example, now you're talking about sexual harassment, and then you go, have you ever been sexually harassed in school? or in a place where you felt most comfortable, you are making those people answer your questions in the way that you want them to answer it. Like, you're not being objective. You're just saying, okay, answer it. If you have ever had this experience, say it like this. This is what I want you to say, right? As opposed to just asking a plain question. Oh, if you've been harassed, how was your experience like? How did you feel? Blah, 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 right? So avoiding this is just ask indirect questions as opposed to asking very, very direct questions. Because when you ask direct questions, it's just like you are leading these people to answer the question in a particular way. Implicit bias is implicit bias is a collection of attitudes and stereotypes that we unconsciously associate with people. And I know that with this explanation now, some ideas will be coming up in our head. Like, you see somebody with piercings, with tattoos, with a Lexus, a young guy with a Lexus car and an iPhone, and then dreadlocks, and then everybody just says, this guy is a Yahoo boy. We forget that maybe the person just likes those kind of things, or probably is working in tech. We say, oh, this person is a Yahoo boy, right? Cases where this type of bias can occur is when we interview people from a particular demographic, race, or ethnicity. We have profiled them in a particular way. So say, for example, you are trying to create a product for, let me break this down in a way. You're trying to create products for Black people, right? You now go to the trenches. Sorry, I'm using trenches. To the trenches, and then you get extremely Black people. You have profiled these people in a way that, okay, this product will benefit this type of people, so they are best to collect data on, forgetting that, okay, these are not the only people that might use your product. There'll be other people and other races and other types. So you just profile those people by making it seem like, oh, these are the people that you're making this product for, and it's only them. Recency bias. Recency bias is a situation whereby you tend to remember the last thing you heard in an interview, the conversation, or a similar situation that you have been in. So it's like when you're having a discussion with somebody, you are more likely to remember what they have said at the end of the conversation than what they were saying all along. It can happen in this meeting, right? You might not probably understand what I say or what I have said, but when I'm trying to conclude, or when I say, oh, do you understand what I've said? You might probably say, oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I understand. But then when I ask questions, I'll now figure out that, oh, you were probably not listening to what I was saying all along, and blah, blah, blah. So a way to conquer recency bias is by taking notes and making recordings. So I saw somebody ask for recordings of this meeting. So something like that could help you overcome recency bias. Sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy is like when you continue to do something because you have invested resources and time into that thing. That's sunk cost. So many of us are in tech and are also students. Me, for example. And so many times I've told myself that, you know what, I'm tired of this school thing and I just want to just get out and then forget about it. And then I've had discussions with friends where I tell them that, oh, I want to drop out, so I'm tired. And then when they say, okay, now drop out now, they'll be like, no, I cannot just drop out like that. It's because I've put in so much time and I've faced so many ASU strikes for me to now say, okay, now I want to give up. Let me just see it through to the end and get my certificate and say, okay, yes, I have done it, right? That's me experiencing sunk cost. I've invested so much time and so much effort that I do not want to just let it go. I want to see it through to the end. Another example is you're working on a project and the client keeps coming back with numerous changes and you are tired. You do not want to continue. You just want to keep going. You just want to just let this thing go. But because you've collected money and you spent so much time researching on that particular product, you've done a lot of things, you've designed, you've had sleepless nights, you just say, you know what, let me just finish it. Make it not be like, say, I know do am, make I just do am, that kind of thing. So that's what is called sunk cost. Framing effects. Okay, so I've probably taken almost all of it. I think the only one I will not explain is halo effect and social desirability. But yeah, framing effects is when people make decisions based on how information is presented rather than the facts themselves, it is known as framing bias. So it's like when you ask, what do you like about Twitter? What do you dislike about Twitter? You've asked like a direct question, right? So you're telling them, okay, if they had a good experience, they can answer. If they've had a bad experience, they can answer. But a good way of trying to avoid that is by just saying, what was your experience using this product? It's in that way, you're like framing a question. You're asking them their own experience. Sorry, I was distracted. But yes, that's what is called framing effect. But before I go on, please, are you guys with me? Should I continue or should I go back?
Aujima.
Okay, thank you. Uh yeah, so there are different strategies to avoid cognitive bias. I've explained some while explaining some. So with what I have here, we have seek out diverse perspectives, right? Do not ask a particular target group or a particular race, a particular um, a particular culture, right? Instead, have a mix of different people to just get different people's ideas, right, and opinions. Do not just target one particular audience. Then fact check and verify your information. Sometimes most of the data that we get from our research, because of the way we have framed our questions, these answers might not really be credible. So, because I've had some experiences whereby I ask people questions and then they lie just so that I can just be done with it and then they can go and do whatever it is that they want to do. So, we must always fact check and verify. Then be mindful of emotions. Now, as designers, we can get really, really too involved in whatever it is that we are doing. And we tend to be very, very emotional about our products. And then when somebody comes with feedback saying, oh, I was expecting long buttons instead of short buttons, we tend to say, no, me, I like short buttons. Why would you say you like long buttons? And then you start getting really, really emotional and then you want to start fighting, right? It's not a very, very good um, way to act. Then we should also consider multiple scenarios. In products that we're designing in our research, we should know that thinking in one particular line, it might not always be like the best thing because somebody will definitely come from somewhere with another angle. It might happen when you are trying to get feedback from your clients or your stakeholders. They tend to see that the way you have thought things to be might not actually be how that thing is supposed to be. So you should also consider like numerous scenarios like, okay, well, if I'm designing this product for this user A might want to click the button at the top, user B might want to see a loader as interactions go on, and user C might say, he does not want to see any button, does not want to see any interaction, just wants to do whatever it is he wants to do and just get out, right? You need to consider all that. Then seek feedback, ask for feedback from people. Do not just say, oh, okay, I've done this thing and let me just go. Ask for feedback because good research, good design is based off of feedback. that you have gotten from numerous people. Yeah, let me move on to the next one. So yeah, these are like the negative parts of like cognitive bias. You have reduced creativity, and you have inaccurate assessments, inaccurate data, inequitable treatment, decreased efficiency, and poor team dynamics. Reduced creativity in the sense that, okay, let's say for example now, you want to design a website for Perxels. We've all seen their logo to be yellow and purple. No, is this purple or blue? Yellow and purple. And then you say, so that I will stand out though, and my own design will look good though. I'll use yellow and purple everywhere. And you go and do that, and then you're presenting to stakeholder, and then you will now think, oh, and then the person will see it, and then will probably say, you are thinking that she would say, okay, because you are using my brand colors now, you know what you are doing, and then probably pick you. But in some scenarios, that's not always the case. You need to understand that doing things like that doesn't always work and will not always work. So you should be more creative in your approach. And then situations whereby I think most of us here would have experienced Oga Center design, where your guy will say, this is what I was thinking in my head, oh, this is the sketch, and then they give it to you. Have you of Lagos, please get out. And then they give it to you. You find yourself trying to do things in that particular way, as opposed to you just exploring your creativity and exploring other mood boards, inspirations elsewhere. You start doing things in that particular line just because your boss has said, oh, this is what I was thinking in my head, right? And yeah, people should stop hyping me. It slows me down. I'm so sorry. Distorted decision making. So you're supposed to make a decision, and then because user A and user B and user C have agreed with what you have confirmed in your heart, you now say, okay, oh, you want to go with them, forgetting that other people also gave you feedback and opinion that you're supposed to use to construct your decision, right? What else? Inequitable treatment. They're supposed to treat everybody equally and give them a fair chance. But because you have targeted a particular group, you will now say you are not being fair and equal. So you need to have like diverse groups for your research, just so that you have different opinions and different feedbacks from different people. So I think the next one is like the conclusion, right? So as not to bore you or confuse you, I hope my explanation has helped you understand what cognitive bias is, and we'll do better as designers to be aware of our bias and know how to avoid them when we are conducting our research. Thank you very much for having me. I'm now open to questions, feedback, and whatnot. I'm sharing links in the chat box, or maybe later I'll send it via mail, because I'm so sorry. I didn't have a lot of time to do this because I was working. But yes, I would prepare some articles, resources that we can use that, would guide us and help us be better researchers and better designers. Thank you very much. I've been muting my mic now.
Okay, thank you so much, Ruqayyah. We enjoyed your section. Like you really did your. I love the way you dissected this like step by step, bit by bit. We enjoyed it, and I'm sure others did too. So please, let us celebrate our speaker. Jesus, I say speaker, sorry. Our speaker in a Perxels way by dropping emojis. So if you enjoyed the section, please drop your emojis. I'd like to see it. Let's okay, I'm seeing people dropping their emojis. So drop your emojis please in the message section if you enjoyed. this section. Okay, I can see Marvelous dropping. Okay, I can see Bolarinwa. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Okay, I can see Toyosi. Okay, so that's fine. So would I move to the question segment? If you have questions, please you can like raise your you can like click on the hand icon, and then I'll just call you to ask your questions. So you can just type the letter Q in the message section, and then we'll call you to like ask your questions. Okay, okay. I can see Salamot. Salamot, you're welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you doing? Yes, I can hear
Salamot,
you.
can you hear
How
me?
are you doing?
I'm fine too. Oh, okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you for
Yes.
asking.
Um.
So, would you like to ask a question?
Yes, I was going to ask that if she could explain the framing effect again, because I didn't get that part, and I think that part was very fast.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so thank you, Salamot. So, Ruqayyah, Salamot would like to like understand the framing aspect. Would you please explain that to her? Ruqayyah, can you hear me? I don't know. Can anyone else hear me? I don't know if I'm just
Yes,
if my
yes,
audio has
Can
like.
hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can hear you.
I was
Okay, okay. So,
thinking
Ruqayyah,
that I
please.
was muted.
Oh, okay, okay. So, did you hear what Salamot asked?
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay, okay. Okay, so we'd just like you to like explain it better.
Okay, let me see. Let me break it down. Framing effects. Please give me a second. Let me just see how I can reconstruct what I said. Okay, so when you present your question in two ways that seems like a profit or a loss to your users, you find them picking one over the other because you have put it in a way that seems like, oh, if they don't pick the gain one, it feels like they are losing something. So let's say you say, what did you like or dislike about, okay, what do you like or dislike about Ruqayyah's speaking effect? Not everybody will want to say, oh, I did not enjoy how she was speaking, I did not enjoy how she was doing this. So many people will say, oh, she was early to the speaking event, oh, I liked her slides, oh, I like the fact that she was engaging, that kind of thing. And then you will not want to say the negative part because I've asked you good or bad, right? So you'll be more focused on the good than the bad. I hope you understand what it is right now.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. Thank you so much, Ruqayyah, for explaining that, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation. We are so happy to have you here. Like, the way I'm excited. I don't know if you guys can feel this, but I'm so happy. Thank you so much for the way you explained everything, the way you explained the slides, and the way you shared your insights with us. We are so grateful. So we'll still continue with the question segment. Salamat, I hope you like understood what Ruqayyah explained.
Yes, yes, I did. Thank you.
Oh, okay, that's not fine. Thank you too. So does anyone have any question? So now I'm not seeing anyone I'm not seeing anyone asking any question. Okay. So please, if you have questions, please just like let us know, like drop it in the message section just before we leave.